In this episode of Tesla series, we're reviewing this fully integrated instrument cluster display for Tesla Model 3 and Model Y. This is by far the most integrated instrument cluster that matches Tesla's interior as well as the user interface. We'll do an unboxing, detailed step-by-step installation guide, demonstration of settings and features, ride along to test for any bugs, and end the video with our honest review. What is going on, everyone? Shiva Sapkota here with another Tesla accessory review. Before we get started with today's video, I wanted to make a few points about this product. Last year, I did a detailed installation and review of this same product, but I couldn't fully recommend it because there were a lot of bugs. I was super excited about it, but it just didn't work out. So I had to send this display back to the manufacturer. And a year later, they're reaching out to me, letting me know that they have fixed all of those bugs and they wanted to resend this display to me so I can put it through my detailed and rigorous testing today. That's what we're gonna do. We're gonna install it. I'm gonna show you the detailed installation guide. I'm gonna do a drive around and I'll show you all about this display, all the bugs, and test it to make sure they have fixed everything. If you find this video helpful and if you would like to see more videos like this where we bring out the Tesla's accessories, we do detailed installation, we do follow-up videos where we share our honest opinion, put it through all of our testing so that we could help you make your decision, please, we sincerely request that you engage with our videos. That means liking our videos, sharing our videos, commenting on our videos, subscribing to the channel, turning on the notification. As more engagement to our videos means we rank higher on the YouTube's algorithm, and in return, we can continuously bring more products like this in the future. We really appreciate your support. Finally, this display was sent to us by Pimp My EV. This is the same company that has sent us a lot of Tesla products in the past, including the rear entertainment and climate control displays, the front instrument cluster display, custom puddle light, custom steering wheels, custom emblems. There are a lot of products that they carry for all Tesla models, so not just for Model 3 and Model Y. They probably also have the largest collection of custom carbon fiber product in their website. So please do check them out. I have a special discount code, Shiva Tesla, where you can save some money. So here's the box, and comes very well protected. This is something that we have seen in the past, and it's exactly like how we reviewed the first time around, where it comes as a half piece here, and then there's the other half piece here. So we have to actually connect this. This is for the shipping purposes so that this box doesn't become super long. And then here are all the wiring and all the installation hardware here. They also send you a guide on how to do the installation as well as the owner's manual. All the screws and everything are intact, and right here in the bottom is where you see the other half of your panel, the front dash panel. And then this one is the side panels. These are for the newer cars where you actually need side panels. You have those, so they also send you the side trim panel, and as I said, this is the other half. So we are going to be connecting this to make it a long panel, and then we're going to install this. So let's actually connect this first, and then we'll go out to the car and then install it. So for this installation of the dash, a couple of things we are going to need is, of course, the two pieces that came with the kit. Then we are going to align these two pieces together, and they kind of just go in on top of each other like this. Then they align. Then we're going to put this piece on top and then use this screws here with a screwdriver from underneath to secure it. So as I said before, your goal is to put this on top of each other here so we can make it a complete dash here. And as you can look at it right here, the little raised edge piece, it goes on the top. So you click this into place and it looks like this. Now we are going to be putting this into here where you see this little cutout that goes on the very middle right here. Then this kind of makes it a continuous dash without showing those screws here. So that's a pretty great design actually. Then we're going to flip this over and we're going to put this screws to secure it. So we're going to use a Phillips head screwdriver and then just get this two together. Then we can go ahead and use the screws to secure it. So there are four, I believe there are 4 different locations. So there's 1 here, 2, 3, 4. So we need to secure this in 4 different locations. Once you insert this in 4 different locations, this becomes a one big dash now. There's also one more thing that we have to be careful about, and I just wanted to show you. So this is the new display. So this is the instrument cluster display that we're going to install on our car, and this is our Tesla OEM dash. Now, if you have a older Model 3s or Y, that is where you are going to need to install another bracket here. But for the newer cars, your cars is going to come with this Velcro stick, so you don't have to do anything. You can just stick this. I believe they made that change somewhere in 2021. So look at your dash and then see what it looks like. So if you just have this Velcro strip on your dash, then you don't have to do anything. But if your car looks like mine, where if you look at it right here, I have clips. So I have clips all around instead of that Velcro piece. So what I'm gonna have to do is to match with mine so that the clips align and the dash is secure. I'm gonna take this bracket that they sent, and then I'm going to remove this Velcro stick here. I just have to unscrew this 2 screws here, then remove that piece and then install this one instead. Now when I do that, it matches with this. So it works great. It can clip very, very well. So before we go out there to the car and install this, I want to show you what the wiring looks like. It's a pretty straightforward wiring, just like everything that we have seen in the past. So this is for the front OBD port, that difficult to access location. This is for the Intel version, and the way you can tell that is because this is a small plug. This goes for the Intel. If you have a very large plug, that is when you know that it's the AMD plug. So just make sure when you order this system, you specify that either you have an AMD or the Intel version in your car. And this clip right here, this just plugs into this control box. This USB is for software update, so you can just leave that anywhere underneath the dash. And then we're just left with this one plug that goes and plug right here in the front. So during the installation, I'm going to show you, if you have an Intel version, where those 2 plugs go for Intel and then for AMD as well, because the AMD is slightly different, but I'll show you during the install. To get started, we're going to have to remove this dash panel and just take the pry tool that they send and start prying on this side panel. This is something we have done a lot in our channel, so our panel is probably very loose and yours could be stubborn if you have never removed it, but just be patient with it. Use a pry tool like this and then peel it out. If you have an older Tesla, you also need to remove this panel, but because we replaced ours with this carbon fiber dash, we don't have that panel here, and the newer Teslas are gonna have the same thing. But if you see a little slit on the top here, then you can use a pry tool to just pry on that slit, and then this panel just comes out. We have demonstrated this past on other videos. So once you do that, go ahead on the right side. You also need to remove this door panel, the side door panel, by just prying on it. Again, ours is super loose because we have done it so many times. Now we're gonna go to the other side and do the same thing on the driver's side. So exact same thing here. Take your pry tool, then pry on this panel. Yours is probably tight if you have never removed this. And then again, if you have an older Tesla, pry right here. If you can see a slit, then this panel also comes out. To remove the dash, all you have to do is pry up on the edge here and do that on all sides throughout the dash, and this one just comes out. This dash is held down by several clips, and it shouldn't require much force, but again, if you have never done this, it might be a little tight, but again, don't use too much force. This shouldn't require much force. To make the computer connection, we are going to be opening up this glove box panel right here. This is held down by several plastic clips that I'll show you how to remove them. It's just using a pry tool. So for the Intel computer, your plug is gonna be right here. For the AMD ones, you're also gonna wanna remove this pillar right here. And to do that, you can just use this pry tool, pry up on this clip right here. Then there is going to be a blue plug for the AMD connection, and then as well as a white plug here for the power for the AMD connection. Remove those 4 plastic screws. You can use a pry tool to remove them. Once the panel is removed, you will see the LED light connector, which can be removed by pinching on the middle tab and pulling it out. Then the speaker plug can be disconnected by simply pulling on the plug. Now this next step, we're going to take this plug. This is the plug that is going to connect on the instrument cluster, and we are going to route it through the bottom here, through up here, and then route it all the way. So we first have to route this from the bottom through this small opening here so that we can route it to the top. And you just have to look into it here, and you will see an opening where you can pass this cable from, and then as you can see, the plug is coming out. Then you are going to just route this through this cable harness So pass it through here, then you can go towards the top. There's also this USB plug, and you can also bring this up, because if there's a software update issue that you want to resolve, you can do this through here, or update software to fix the bugs in the future. So that's how you do it. And just pull this pretty much all the way. Just leave a little bit of a slack so that we can connect this plug in the bottom, but you can generally pull this all the way up to where this is going to go in the front, so a little bit more distance that we need to pull. There you go. So this should be decent, and I'll show you how to route this in just a second. Now we can work to plug this in. Now before we plug any of this in the tightest space down there, I would recommend you plug this in right here. This is the control unit, and then the plug just goes one way. You'll hear a click when it goes in. So you want to do that, because without this your Tesla will not function properly. So this completes the circuit. You want to do that. Then now we're gonna go ahead and bypass the Tesla's connection using this here. This is the difficult plug we need to remove for the cars with an Intel chip. You just have to pinch on the middle tab, and while holding it down, pull the plug out. Then take the new harness and plug the male Tesla adapter into the female adapter of the new harness, and then take the new male adapter and plug it into the Tesla computer. Make sure to align the plug straight to prevent bending Tesla pins. Again, this is super tedious and requires a lot of patience. At the end, it should make a complete circuit. So for the AMD version, what you're going to do is remove this pin right here that will allow you to remove this door panel, and right around here you're going to see a blue plug, and that's what you're going to connect this plug to, the blue plug. And then on the side you are going to see a white plug right about here, and that's where you are going to use this white plug to bypass that plug on the door panel. Now we need to route this cable towards the steering wheel, and to do that, again, just drop this cable towards the steering wheel, and still leave some cable in the down, and then you can use some masking tape or electrical tape to just center this cable. So the goal is you don't want this cable to be touching any of this clip holes here, so you want to put this away. This masking tape is not going to hold the cable down, and we don't need to, but this is just so that the cable doesn't move and it doesn't interfere with any of this clip. So go ahead and do that all around to there, and then we're going to make that connection in the steering wheel. So we just need to make sure that it doesn't interfere with any of this dash clips. So hold it down using masking tape or electrical tape. I would recommend you leave this USB port somewhere right around here, so that if you need to run a software update, you can do that through there. And software update meaning software update for the screen, the new screen, not Tesla. And so you can access this. I would probably tug this right here. Now in this next step, we're going to line this up so that the instrument cluster is right here and this white plug is visible, and we're simply going to plug in the cable that we routed from the bottom. And when we plug this in, the goal here is we want to see the power turn on, and it did in this cluster, and it recognized that it's a red car, so I'm already liking this. So what we're gonna do is now we just need to make sure none of the cables are being pinched, and we are going to just push this down. Now after we verify that the cable is not being pinched with any of the clips, you can go ahead and push this down, and it should go in really well, and it should be flushed with the system. You might have to push it a little bit harder, and it should be good. They also send you a clip like this that should fit really well right here. So you just want to push this in, and it should clip to align this one. So you might have to push it a little bit. Okay, so there you go. So this is good to go. Now you can go ahead and push this in to secure it. It needs to look very flush, so there should be no gap here. This is what it shows. The car color automatically sync with your car. On the left shows the temperature and time. In the middle, you can see tire pressures. On the right side, it shows the battery range both in percentage and miles. In the very middle, you first see the headlights during the night time. Then in the very top middle section, there is this current gear selection while parked, but it also shows the current speed while driving in big fonts. This is also where you'll see the turn signals and hazard signals. Right underneath that line are the gear selections, which get highlighted with the current gear selection. In the very bottom of that middle box, you'll find the total odometer on the left side and the current trip miles on the right side. It also accurately shows the seatbelt sign and the seat. So to change the setting, what you have to do is press and hold on this button in the left, and while holding it down, you need to swipe this up. So hold it down, swipe it up, and then the settings start. To go between different settings, you need to go through this right scroll wheel, and to select the specific setting, let's say you want to change the theme style, you need to go here, and then you can select it and then press to confirm, and then you can change various settings there, and then this is the exit menu. So here are some of the settings that we see on this display. Going to the very top, you see the time format, so you can change between the 24-hour and then 12-hour time format. You can change the time zone. You can change the theme to night or dark or night, so you can go here and then you can change it from auto, day or night here. We'll leave that in auto. And then there's the languages, there's the tire pressure unit from bar to PSI, and then there's temperature changes, and then there's the version. So this is what driving on the night mode looks like. This is the evening time, and I really like how this looks. Just with the front view, as you can see, it is synced with the Tesla now, and it just shows that. So another testing that I want to do is how well it syncs with Tesla when we're opening different items in the Tesla. So let's start with the front. Yeah, it got it right away. It opened the front, and the UI actually matches. If you look at this one versus that one, I just changed my color to make it a little bit brighter, but the native Tesla color, it works there. And you close it, and as you can see, the Tesla is also staying open, and as soon as you close it, actually that one responded to it even quicker than the Tesla. So that's pretty cool that it is well in sync. Now if I open the door, it opens the door. Close the door, it closes the door. As I can see, like that one is actually responding even before this is. So that's pretty cool that it works. The miles and everything is also matching. So 110 miles, and if I tap here, it's a 46%. So that is accurate. There's no delay or lag with any type of a sync issue there. There were also some bugs with the headlight and the high beam light last time, so I want to test that here. So we have this in auto. I'm going to turn on the headlight, and as soon as I turn on the headlight, the fog light turned on as well, which is true right here. We have that turned on, and then when we turn that off, it actually updates real time, so that is awesome. So we'll leave that in auto. When we turn it off, that goes away. So that is working really well. Now let me turn on the high beam and then see if it works. So high beam, it works with both the fog light as well as the high beam. That is reflected here on the Tesla screen. So they fixed that. And if you look very closely here, the screen actually updates with the headlight here. So that's really awesome that they figured that out in the UI itself. So that Tesla's headlight graphics is also replicated here. It's just this one is yellow for some reason, but it matches here. What we see here, so that's pretty cool that they even tried to match that. So the biggest bug that we had encountered last time was pressing on the brake, which I am doing that right now, would show hazard sign in the front, which Tesla doesn't show, that doesn't show. So that's fixed now. 0 miles per hour, and there is no hazard sign when I try to brake. So that's excellent. That was the biggest bug, and they got rid of it by the software patch. Another big flaw was the speed limit. So 25 is showing 25 here. Last time it would show like 160 miles per hour or something crazy like that. So I'm glad that they also fixed it. So that is, I can confirm that those bugs are fixed. So another thing I wanted to test is the brightness and the display settings. So brightness, when I slide it, it changes. So I like that. So it is synced with Tesla. When I change the brightness, it changes here as well. Now let's check the dark and light. Nope. So it looks like that is not working. So that bug is still where the dark and light setting is not working. It does turn dark, and I believe that goes to dark at around 6 p.m. and then it becomes light again at 6 a.m. So it might work, but it is not following the car. And it almost wants to work. It has that blink, but then it does not work. And that's a pretty common problem we see on other instrument clusters as well. So must be something with Tesla's code that they're not getting. Last time I made a recommendation, when the car is in autopilot, it didn't show anything. So I asked them to add that feature. Let's see if they add it. So I'm gonna put my car into autopilot. Nothing. So it looks like they still didn't add anything to the screen. My car is making a turn by itself under that FSD beta, and we're going into a small street. Did that perfectly, but there was no indication here, and it's asking me to pay attention to the road, and it didn't give me that blinking here at all. So I'm a little disappointed that they don't have that feature. It would be really nice, especially for me with test software. It would be great to see that in the front here, but looks like they don't have that. Hopefully they can add that as a software later down the road. It actually shows the ultrasonic proximity, so 42-inch, and Tesla hasn't even started showing the distance here. It's just showing the yellow, and as soon as that radar is triggered, looks like it starts showing here. So if we go forward, it updates and Tesla starts showing it, and it actually matches, and it changes here the color. It's like, okay, so now you are yellow, that means you are getting really close. And then if we get further, it just changes. So it is really awesome that it matches Tesla's information here directly to that, and it makes it even easier. Those cars with ultrasonic sensors or the vision-based sensors that Tesla is starting to put that trigger in, I think you can incorporate that in this display. I have about 5 miles to the next supercharger, and it's showing 8% battery remaining now. And if you look at this screen, it started giving me that low battery warning, and every minute it flashes saying there is low battery, low battery. So it's great that it shows me that here directly in front of me. So in case I didn't see it on the screen, I can see it more clearly, and it gives me that warning right here. It's saying 8% battery remaining. Here's my verdict. Let's start with my likes. We'll move on to our dislike. Even though there are still some bugs left, such as that night and day difference, but they made a huge improvement. All those critical bugs, such as pressing on the brake light and those flashers would go off, all of those are fixed. The speed limit is fixed. So I'm confident that they are going to continue to patch this display in case it breaks due to a Tesla software update. It feels more natural when I'm looking at it. It's kind of a down view from the top. The top arch does not block the view here. It doesn't block as much airflow. There's still some airflow that it blocks, but it doesn't block as much as the other instrument clusters that we have reviewed. And the other clusters kind of sit on top of the dash and you mount from the bottom, but this one comes as a whole. So it feels more natural, and it feels like it belongs in the car and more of a factory option, especially because you can get in different versions. So this is a white version, but you could also get one in black. You can get one in carbon fiber. So there is different options, and they also send you the side trim panels if you have a newer Tesla. So making it more in tune with the interior of your car. I really like the integration of this display. I also like the graphics and how it matches Tesla's UI. So the hardware wise, it matches, the aesthetic it matches, and also the graphics matches, because when we open the trunk, it actually shows the trunk opening, not just some yellow highlight on top of the trunk or the front. And when you open the door, it kind of it matches Tesla's UI, including the tire pressure screen. So it looks more HD. It looks more like it belongs in the car, not just for the aesthetic of it, but also with the display itself. Of course, the biggest benefit of having an instrument cluster is so you can see everything that you want to see on this screen here. So it provides just that. It has all those features. It shows the speed, it shows the turn signal, it shows everything that you need to see in your view right here directly. Having said that, there are still some bugs. As I said, they need to clean up, including that day and night settings so that it would follow the Tesla. But as I said, other instrument cluster had that issues too. So something about Tesla's code probably that they still need to figure that out. I would still want them to integrate the autopilot here so that when I turn on the autopilot in the car, it actually shows and it gives me that warning. For version 2 of this, I think there's a hardware limitation. They can't do it in this version, is the Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. That has been a big hit in our channel with a lot of Apple CarPlay folks that wanting Apple CarPlay in the Tesla. So it would be really nice to integrate that. And also some of the maps. So if they could integrate the Tesla's map directly on this display, that would be nice. Or at least some other versions of the map, because it does not have that here. Another thing is it doesn't have a custom UI that we can customize it based on our needs. I don't want to see that tire pressure on the left-hand side all the time. I want to replace that with something else, and I couldn't change that here. It is fixed to what you can do here. So make that changeable would be another feature request, and I think they can do that just via software update. And then finally, my biggest dislike of this system is that it is not available on the countries with the right-hand drive version. It is only available on the left-hand version, which, you know, there is a huge market on the right-hand drive version. So I hope that in the future iterations of the hardware, they make it so that this is available, because the way it is set up right now, they only sell it for people who can drive on the left-hand side. So hopefully they make that change on version 2. So based on all the testing that we did here and witnessing all the bug fixes, I can confidently recommend this product. I'm really excited. If you're looking for an instrument cluster where you don't need the CarPlay and all the additional features, but something that you can just look at from the driver's view, it doesn't block as much view. The top arch of your steering wheel does not block the view of your steering wheel and the instrument cluster, and you just look at it from the top and you see that instrument cluster without any distraction. This is the right product for you. If you need those added features like CarPlay, then there's a bunch of other instrument clusters that we have reviewed in the channel. Please do check those out. But for what it is worth, you get a full integrated dash here. It belongs in the car. It doesn't look sore or sticking out from any directions, and it looks more in tune like the Tesla Model S and X. So definitely recommend this. I'm really excited. I think I'm gonna keep this one for the time being and play around with it more. So if you have any questions about this display, or if you'd like me to do a follow-up video, answer any questions, please let me know in the comment section below. Thank you very much for your continued support to the channel. We will be back with another Tesla video soon. We really appreciate your engagement to our videos. Again, like, subscribe, share, comment, anything that you can do to help us out would be greatly appreciated. Thank you very much. We'll be back again.